outside, so it was techie getting to the stadium. Came out tonight for the championship opening night. Left with enough time. Got to the train station. Waiting there, train delay. The train came. Get on the train. Trainer standing there, speaking Japanese. I don't speak Japanese. And by the time I realized that, first it started out saying that the train was delayed, but then service was suspended for an hour. So with that and me not understanding, I ended up having to run out of the train station, figured out how to take a taxi in Japan, and made it to the stadium.
My event is the 100 meter. I like the men's and the women, but prefer the women. There were 7 heats. This was my first time seeing a track event in person. Exciting. The first heat included Melissa Jefferson Wooden. The second included Tina Clayton and Dina Asher-Smith. Dina Asher-Smith is one of my favorite sprinters, so it was great to see her in person. The third heat included Sha'Carri and Shericka Jackson, 2 of my other favorite sprinters. Shericka, this was her first time, a big event championship since missing out in the Olympics last year, so it was great to see her and to see Sha'Carri Richardson as well, who had been injured early in the year. Both of them came in pretty good times. You had the Team Jamaica supporters out in droves to support their athletes. Julian Alfred, last year's Olympic gold medalist, was present. She was back after somewhat of an injury leading up to the World Championships, so interesting to see her out in the field, and she was out front in her heat. Really good performance. TT Terry was in the 5th heat along with Daryl Nieda. Nice to see them in action. Unfortunately, my hands were all over the place as I was watching the race, because I was watching the race and not necessarily watching through my camera. The 7th heat was what I was looking forward to. I was there to see Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, and she was in the very last heat along with Talu Smith. So I was super amped at this point when she came out on the track. That's what I was there for. To see them line up, and watching back the footage, where it's a different experience watching it after, where it's I can rewind things back, I can look at things more closely. So with all of the runners, I went back as I was making this video and looked at how they lined up, how did they work on coming out of the blocks, how are their legs positioned, just really paying close attention. I was excited for this race to start, but at the same time apprehensive. Got out the blocks really nice and clean. I was concerned, I like her, but anything could happen. And I was worried that my favorite racers, Fraser-Pryce primarily, might not make it through the heats, but was happy to see her and pretty much all of my other favorites make it through the heats to the semifinals on the second night. So cool experience. Nice to see everyone competing. Everybody that I made it through. So night 2 was going to look really good for women, and especially given how fast the heats were, and that basically it's the who's who of women's 100-meter sprinting made it through to the semifinals. I knew that last race was going to be incredible. Decided to take a break to go grab something to eat, but because I delayed, a lot of the stuff was sold out, so had some limited options. Went with the yakisoba, wasn't too excited about it, but listen, it was good. It was worth it.
So Mr. T first two men's heats. Fortunately, I got to see all of the women. So I miss Oblique Seville. Seekers came in first in his heat. I'm not sure. I'm hoping they play it back so I can see where Seville landed.
I made it back to my seat in time for the third men's heat. And so with that, Noah Lyles was in this heat. So it was exciting to see him. Like, it's these people that up until this point I've only seen on TV. But to see it in person was like really cool. And it's one of the things that I like about attending like live music events or sporting events, where it's one thing to see these people on television. It's a completely different vibe to see them in person. And you'd be surprised like just how fast these races are. They take off and it's like just arms, legs filling, just movement down the track. And it's over quickly, but it feels long isn't the word at the same time. Like, I mean, they are out the blocks and it's just movement. You see things differently in person. You see more of their form. Unlike when you're watching on TV, the camera isn't switching around. It's like you can kind of focus on whatever attracts your attention. So it's like you can see them when they come out and like, you know, they're stretching and doing their little like last minute warm-ups to when they get into the blocks. You can focus on, you know, when they're going from on their mark to being set. It's a different vibe. Different vibe. Tobogo, I was interested to see him because of his performance at the Olympics last year. Like, very exciting. I liked the experience of seeing all of these like athletes, many of whom I'd only become aware of during last year's Olympics, and I've been following over the year since. Unfortunately, in one of the later heats, there was a false start. But the upside to it is that after review, no one was penalized for it, which I felt would kind of suck. Like, you get to the championship and it's not intentional, but, you know, you get knocked out for a false start. Fortunately, that wasn't the case here. Everyone was able to line back up and to run in this heat. You know, super fast. You know, there was also some sprinters that I saw in the sprint miniseries on Netflix, so that was cool as well. And, you know, just to sit there and to watch the various heats, to feel the energy of being in the arena with the crowd yelling, exciting. You know, it's definitely something that I would want to do again. I had a great time. I was out here repping it. You know, it was an incredible experience. Well organized, let's say. Beautiful stadium. I didn't have the greatest seats, but I still felt like I had a really good view. And like, I was really there to see Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. I was concerned that, you know, something might happen. I initially just bought tickets for the first day. It's about like $50 and change. But the other days, they cost some ducats. But overall, I feel like it was worth it. And I'll tell you about it in the next videos.